This past weekend was a very interesting weekend for pro wrestling. We had the WWE Day 1 pay-per-view, and we also have some news about Jon Moxley's return. Also, today what came out was very interesting because we now know AEW in the UK is going to get a lot better. And I know I actually have a little bit of an audience from the UK, so if you are from the United Kingdom and you're watching this video, you are definitely going to like today's news. Now, with that being said, guys, if you like more news videos, go ahead and just click that subscribe button, ring that bell, get notified, check out the Discord server. Any way you could support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. 2022 is finally here, so we're trying to make some big moves and big growth. With that being said, though, I do want to kick things off talking about WWE Day 1. Big E did drop the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar. This was basically due to the fact that Roman Reigns, he tested positive for COVID, and WWE inserted Brock Lesnar into the Fatal 4-Way match. Totally cool with that decision. It totally makes sense. I'm fine with that from a logical perspective of this guy was supposed to be competing for a world championship. Throw him in the other one. That's fine, right? Brock Lesnar goes on to pin Big E, and that's where a lot of criticism was met with online. And I personally am not one of those people where I think, like, I personally don't have an issue with this booking decision because I don't feel like WWE did anything wrong to hurt Big E, right? Like, I don't think Big E or Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins or anybody in this match left with this perception that they are worse than what they were before going into the match. And so, yes, I understand that Big E was the one who was pinned. I do believe that WWE has greater plans for Big E. At least I would like to hope so. Based on the way this match went, we don't really know what WWE's long-term plans are, but we do know that WWE originally planned for Big E to win this match, and it wasn't until Roman Reigns tested positive in which Brock Lesnar was then the guy to go forward. Now, what was really interesting is I think it was Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer. I think he was kind of projecting this idea that perhaps Roman would be the SmackDown champion, Brock would be the Raw champion, and then they would just continue their feud and then go for a champion versus champion matchup at WrestleMania. I have a couple of problems with that. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I don't think there should be a champion versus champion match unless they are unifying the belt. I do think the idea of WWE unifying all the belts between brands, I like that idea, so they're not necessarily affected by the brand split, but I think right now the best thing that should happen if I'm WWE, if you are going to pivot, right? If you're going to pivot, have Lashley versus Lesnar at Mania. If you're not going to pivot, have Lesnar versus Lashley at Rumble. Have Lesnar drop the belt due to interference with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman then goes on 100% committed to Roman Reigns and goes on for WrestleMania between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, if Lashley does defeat Brock Lesnar, then I think WWE should also have Big E win the Royal Rumble and then go for the WWE Championship. Or if you really want to do something special, have Big E go into WrestleMania triple threat with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. That's my personal opinion. I do want to talk a little bit about AEW in the UK because now it's been announced that AEW Rampage will be accessible to all the UK viewers. No longer, now before it was just Fight TV, but now what's going to be happening is Rampage will be aired on ITV and ITV4. So keep in mind, it's not going to be live or anything like that. There's usually, it's usually like edited or there's usually modifications to the show, but AEW fans will now have that access in the UK. Now, for me, I talk a lot on this channel about global viewership. I've talked about this before with Impact and WWE, and in the last few years, WWE's, I would say their footprint in the UK has probably decreased. I haven't looked at numbers or anything like that, but WWE hasn't always been the strongest in the UK, and a lot of people are actually shocked that Impact Wrestling had been really, really good in the past with the United Kingdom. AEW kind of was off to a rough start, and then obviously as time went on, their fan base started to grow. It is very, very important, in my opinion, that all of these wrestling companies focus more than just the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And we've seen WWE time and time again. They've done some things with India and Japan. AEW right now has been mostly focused on the United States market. But now that their secondary show will be accessible on ITV and ITV4, it just means that this is more accessible. More people have the ability to watch it, and I think that's a great thing. Also, Rampage is a 1-hour show, and if I'm just being honest from a fan's perspective, a 1-hour show that airs at 10 p.m. Eastern, my time, right? Like, I'm Eastern Standard Time. When I see that, I can watch this on DVR. I don't have to watch it live, but it's nice that AEW fans in the UK have another option instead of just subscribing to Fight TV and then dealing with that. I personally don't really care for Fight TV based on my user experience. I've bought pay-per-views on there before, and sometimes just server issues and buffering and things like that. And I know that's also been a complaint from fans before, so it's just something to consider. And guys, for our final story of the day, we have finally made it to the main event of this video. Jon Moxley reportedly possibly coming back soon. Everybody wants to know when Jon Moxley is coming back, and nobody actually knows for sure when Jon Moxley is coming back. However, what was very interesting was a booking decision at GCW. Keep in mind, Jon Moxley is the current GCW World Champion, and what was very interesting is Homicide, the wrestler Homicide, just won the Do or Die Battle Royal. This Battle Royal was actually taking place at the GCW Die for this event, and the winner of that got to challenge for Moxley's GCW World Championship. So keep in mind, this match is assumed to be taking place at GCW's The World, which is at the Hammerstein Ballroom on January 23rd, and there is a belief that Jon Moxley will be there to defend the championship. Now, keep in mind, there has not been an official announcement from Jon Moxley or AEW or anything like that, but of course, if Jon Moxley were to return for GCW, then it is safe to say that he would be returning at AEW. Now, I do also want to point out, if I'm Jon Moxley, and if Jon Moxley is set to return soon, I would like to think that Jon Moxley would return to AEW before GCW. Like, I feel like Tony Khan would probably want that. I can't imagine having one of my biggest stars return, from a situation like this at an indie show. So I have a strong feeling that there's a good chance if Jon Moxley is going to be defending that belt at GCW, my belief is that he'll be defending it, or he'll be defending that belt after he arrives at AEW. So really cool stuff, though. If Jon Moxley's coming back, I'm all excited about it. I miss Jon Moxley. I hope everything's going well with him. It's just like one of those things. I think AEW's product needs him. I think he is definitely missed on TV. But of course, first and foremost, him getting better is the most important thing. After that, then comes wrestling and all this other stuff. So, we'll see. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. I would love to hear you guys' comments in the comment section down below. And don't forget, we have a Discord and all that good stuff. So if you guys want to support the channel, get all your news stuff, check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.